What's good, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Golden 83, and I am here to do a word from the ancestor read for the sign of Leo. Okay, Leos, you guys are last but not least this week on the zodiac lineup. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. I'm just trying to adjust here a little bit. There we go. Okay, so hopefully, you guys are doing well. Remember, you guys, these are general messages, not personal. So take what resonates and pass the rest to the next. Okay? So, you guys, I was literally last night was working on ancestor reads and I wasn't able to get you guys out. Your girl was really tired. Between Gemini and Taurus, kind of energy kind of went down a little bit. So to be fair to you guys, I like to be, my vibrations high. So I like to get some sleep and get you guys done. And crazy thing is like usually towards the end of the final week, I'm not gonna say it goes down, but the energy changes, and so I start winding down because I will be on break the remainder of the month after today. So today is Saturday. Tap into your souls is still going on. I will get everybody done today, and then I'll be on break. And I still have two videos to do for the weekend before I'm like officially off. So you guys will see me a little bit, but not that much. Okay. So that being said, let's go ahead and get into your reading, Leo. So we have one from the top, one from the bottom, and one energetically from the middle. And I'm trying to make sure I get the one that's really catching my eye here. Okay, so Leos, let's see what your ancestors are observing as they watch you from the great beyond. Okay, so we have the Three of Swords. Okay, we have the Eight of Cups, which came up in Gemini's read, but it was over here. Okay, indolence, and then we have the Ace of Swords. Okay, so if you know your birth chart, Leo, you can go and watch Gemini's read in reference to this because it may pertain to you a little bit in reference to drinking. Okay. Um, you can kind of like fast forward until you see this card being spoke on. Okay. I'll have it up for a pretty long time. Okay. That's what kind of drew out Gemini's reading a bit, okay? But for you guys, it might be a little bit different, okay, in regards to this Eight of Cups. So let's start with this Three of Swords, sorrow. So we have three swords. As you can see here, there's like blood going down the drain, okay? And so there's a razor on the edge. Three of Swords is usually, and there's like paper or maybe that's like kind of like water up underneath mixed in with the blood. Now, don't get too scary with this. This is just how Urban Tarot is made, okay? It's based off of the creator of this deck primarily made it in regards to an homage to New York, okay? New York City, so it's urban living, okay? So if you're not from New York, still but live in like an urban area, it's pretty much coinciding with city living. Okay, it's the best way that I can put it. So even if you don't live in New York, but you live in a city or live in the city area or urban-esque type area, by all means, this still resonates for you. Okay, as far as the style of the cards, that's why they're in this reading. Okay, so Three of Swords in your traditional Rider's Waite is a heart with swords going through it. Okay, and so for some of you Leos, you could be going through a bit of sorrow. Okay, you could be dealing with a loss of some sort, whether it be a relative or a friend. Okay, and it kind of has you in your thoughts or in your head right now, okay? For others of you, it could be literally about heartache in a sense of a relationship, um, trying to come to terms, the real truth behind what it is that you're wanting out of life. For some of you, I'm getting this vibe of a past situation, okay, which has kind of been a running theme um, within your readings this week, okay, about something traumatic that happened in your past, okay. Um, it could have attached or been attached to suicide, okay, either a suicide attempt or someone actually committing suicide, okay. It's a very soft subject, and my condolences to you guys, Leo, if that be the case for you, okay. Possibly someone that you dated in the past, okay. um, and so it could be somewhat attached to why you don't want to do this Eight of Cups, as far as walking away from someone. Okay, the Eight of Cups is usually talking about walking away, moving forward, or moving on from something. Okay, and so you may have a tendency of sticking around with people because of a past situation regarding someone threatening to commit suicide if you didn't stay with them, okay? And that's a really hard pill, okay, to swallow. And so the best way that I can put it, if you did deal with a situation like that, Leo, is to, in order to kind of help you heal, you have to kind of understand the reasoning on someone else's end for why they do what they do, okay? You never know what that person was going through outside of you, okay? It could have been something possibly within their family dynamic, okay, where they suffered from watching something like that in their own childhood, okay, or in their adulthood, teenage years, wherever, okay, and so that's all they know, okay. Um, Not saying that it's right and not trying to justify it, just trying to give you somewhat of an insight, if you will, okay. So that being said, this Ace of Swords being here is finally kind of coming to a realization of things and speaking your truth, okay. um, I myself um, am a, I don't know how to say it. It's a touchy subject even for me, where even I have attempted or attempted suicide in my past. And so, primarily in childhood, and I'm trying not to cry, but this is my truth, okay? And so, like I said, that person probably was dealing with a lot of pain, okay? Um, that was not your fault, okay? And so you could have been more so of a last ditch effort for them to have someone, okay? And so they didn't know how to really express that to you. And so that's why they did what they did, okay? Or attempted to do that to you to kind of gain you back, okay? To see if you would still want to be with them, even, in death, okay? And so now, mind you, for other reasons, it could have been a situation where, well, depending on, like for me personally, I had even a situation where someone was cheating on me, like left and right, literally blatantly in my face, and I felt like something was wrong with me. And so I really didn't want to live anymore. Not because I didn't want to be with them, but I thought something was wrong with me, okay? And so you have to think about it on those terms as well. Again, that was before I knew anything about therapy. Okay, that was before I knew anything about therapy. And so but I had friends around me that stopped me, at that time from doing something like that. Okay. But I had periodic times in my life where I didn't want to be here. And so I can truly understand, you know, those reasonings for wanting to do those things, just from a standpoint of not feeling like you're good enough. If you go through life where people pick on you, bully you, which I experienced in school, just because I didn't look like any of the cool kids. I had the big giant glasses and everything, and I got picked on damn near every day. And so, that on top of it, society can make you feel away, okay? And so, just because society says, oh, you're supposed to be pretty, you're supposed to wear makeup, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that, you're supposed to look like this, you're supposed to dress like this, you got to have the finest clothes, all of that stuff, you know, from a young age, it's like, how am I supposed to do all that? My parents don't have money like that, things of that nature, okay? Sometimes people go through that. And so, the last thing we need to do is be judging people, to pressure them to be like us, okay? And so, with that being said, that is possibly what has happened for, for a select few. Again, this will not resonate with everyone, okay? And again, this is a sensitive topic, and this is probably why you guys were came up last this week. When I do the readings, which will change, when I normally do the readings, I actually draw the signs out from my singing bowl. And you guys were last to come out for this week, okay? And so it's obviously, it happened for a reason. The universe made it that way, okay? So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into your clarifiers, Leo, okay? So one from the top, one from the bottom, and one energetically from the middle. And I think I'm going to go here with it. Okay. So, let's see what's going on one by one. So, we have the Seven of Swords clarifying the Three of Swords. Okay. Seven of Swords being here, I always, refer to as cleaning up, okay? And so, or laying down kind of boundaries, okay? And so, with this sorrow being here, this Three of Swords, again, this particular situation is kind of off limits, is what I feel with you guys, Leo, okay? As far as your past, okay? You try to kind of mosey around it a bit. You don't really talk about it, okay? Because it's something that's very intimate, it's very private, and it hurts, okay? And so, like I said, you may be taking on the guilt from this past, okay? Possibly, like I said before, some form of bullying or verbal abuse, something of that nature, because swords is talking about more so words, okay? Wands is more so about passion and action, okay? Now, you would think that with swords because it's air, which is also movement as well. But think of it this way: when you're speaking, what comes out of your mouth? Air, okay? So that's why swords is associated with air and more so communication than wands are. Okay, so we don't have any wands here as of yet. I don't know what's underneath these cards, but we'll see in a minute. Okay, so again, with this Seven of Swords, like I said, I feel like you set boundaries because there are two swords that are still here within this card. Okay, And it's always someone carrying swords, okay? So kind of think of, excuse me, in a sense of when someone talks to you about your past, you're like, up, stick a pin in it, or, up, nope, that's off limits. And then you kind of redirect the conversation, okay? And it's because you have not dealt with it yourself, okay? And so, again, as I always do, which is normally during my Tap into the Soul readings, I suggest therapy for you, a safe space if you're not able to talk about this situation with your person who you're dealing with now, in regards to relationship or why there's no long-standing commitment. I would suggest that you seek professional therapy. Okay, there's nothing and no shame in it. I've done it for at least 2 years, and even with doing tarot, it's like therapy for me to help you guys with your experiences through this lifetime. Okay, so let's move on to this Eight of Cups. Okay, Eight of Cups is being clarified by the World. Okay, by the World card. All right, it's talking about a completion of a cycle when the World card comes. Okay. And so obviously, whatever, for some of you, if you've had like some form of a vice, you're finally, maybe putting down that bottle. If you are struggling with alcoholism, for others of you, it's a completion of the relationship, okay, that you possibly had with someone, where you finally come to terms with maybe you need to move on from someone, okay. It could be also a forthcoming completion of this past situation, okay? As long as you get the help that you need, okay? And stop avoiding it with this Seven of Swords energy, okay? Because you have Three of Swords being in sorrow, and then you're up to seven, okay? Meaning that you have not healed from it, okay? So hopefully that will happen soon for you in the near future. Next, we have the Ace of Swords with the High Priestess, okay? So Ace of Swords is usually, like, in my eyes, the verbal bomb, if you will, of finally dropping some truth, okay? Now, you may not drop this truth to someone in particular, okay? You may keep this to yourself, and it's a truth that you come to on your own, okay, for yourself. However, this High Priestess being here, it could be with someone who you truly trust that knows something is up with you, okay? They use their intuition, all right? For others of you, it could be you, Leo, who you end up being the one that someone comes to lay down some truth, okay? And so it could go either way. Get in where you fit in, all right? So let's get into your Ancestor Oracle here. This is where you get some final or overall advice from your ancestors, what they want you to know or focus on. I shuffle all of my cards in between readings to prepare for the next energy. But the Oracle cards, I usually shuffle again when I get into you guys' readings. So just in case you'd like to know. Before I start all the readings, I cleanse my cards as well. For the Ancestor reads, I use my Palo Santo, okay? So let's see what's at the bottom of the deck for you guys, Leo. And you have Awaken Your Inner Shaman. Awaken your inner shaman, okay? You have Connect, Invoke, and Heal, okay? Connect, Invoke, and Heal, okay? Some of you may be related or have ancestors that are indigenous, okay? If you find yourself being very connected to indigenous people, Native American or tribal artifacts, things of that nature, Okay, Leos, that obviously is somewhat in your lineage, okay? And so maybe you should kind of look into it if you haven't done something like Ancestry or 23andMe, okay? Um, but awakening your inner shaman is talking about connecting with spirit, connecting with source, connecting with yourself, okay? It could be, like I said, either in your lineage or in your genetics, and so maybe you need to learn more about it, okay? So, and it's talking about healing as well. So it's time for you to kind of heal in maybe in a more holistic way, okay? So we're going to go to page 16, and I'm going to read this for you with maybe a couple of other passages that I'm being energetically guided to as we hold this. We do have psychic strength underneath as well. Okay, so some of you may be quite spiritual. Okay, so it says the ancestors speak. The path of the shaman calls to you. Focus on your connection with the earth, animals, and nature spirits. Whoever you are or wherever you come from, the shamanic way is open to you. Shamans can be male or female and come from many cultures around the world. A healer, seer, or shaman in your ancestry may have passed their gift or special knowledge to you. If you do not know your family lineage, dig deep and ask the universe to help you discover your ancestor spirits. Continue to connect with the earth, nature, and animal spirits, and you will uncover your ancestral link. You can then tap into this spiritual knowledge and further develop your gifts. Okay? So, with that being said, there's a few other kind of sentences I would like to read for you guys. It says shamans walk between worlds to communicate with spirits and provide answers and guidance for the community. Protectors of the earth and guardians of nature, each shaman chooses an apprentice from within the family. Thus, shamanic knowledge is shared and preserved through the ages. Okay? And so you may have received this or are part of it, and maybe you've kind of stayed away from it in a sense of not wanting to be judged by anyone outside of your family, okay? But you've obviously been chosen, and they see that within you, okay? Thus this high priestess coming out for some of you, okay? Again, get in where you fit in, all right? If it's not your message, just pass it to the next, as I always say, okay? So just the same as for me, I have found out that my lineage comes from uh, seers, shamans, things of that nature. That's the reason why I'm here. I was supposed to do tarot back when I was 22. My father passed at 42. So I went through a very traumatic time in my life where I was just full of rage. I couldn't do tarot at 22. There was no way. Okay. And I came to terms with that. But here I am now, in it for about the last 2 years. Okay. And it's the best thing I've ever done. Okay. It feels like home when I'm here doing these readings. Okay. And so do not let anyone who is willing to judge you for something that has been bestowed upon you. You truly do have a gift, Leo. Okay. Embrace it. Don't block it out. Okay. Otherwise, it makes it a lot harder for it to come out when you finally do accept it. Okay. So explore different aspects and modalities of the healing arts, such as massage, Reiki, or something that opens you as a channel for rejuvenating energy. Okay? When you are healing others, surround yourself with golden light so you don't become drained. When you are ready, invoke the healing energy of the shaman and pass your knowledge on to others. Okay? So, hopefully that is helpful to you guys. We're going to get into your angel messages of support. And you don't have to do tarot to help heal others, okay? um you can do simple, like I said, Reiki, massage, okay? Anything that is healing to others and boosting their energy as well as your own, okay? Even if you're doing therapy, okay? Even if you're getting into psychology, or sociology, you can still be a beacon of light to others and heal them in some way, even if it's just by listening, okay? So let's go ahead and cut the deck here. And let's see what your messages are at the bottom of the deck. We have Archangel Gabriel, who has been literally in everybody's readings for the Ancestor reads this week, okay? So I will give you three messages, okay? From Gemini onto you, Leo. Archangel Gabriel has been in each one of your readings. So you could have Gemini, Taurus, or Leo in your chart, or be dealing with any of those signs, okay? So Archangel Gabriel says you have an important life purpose involving communication and the arts. Please don't allow insecurities to hold you back. I will help you, okay? That's your first message, okay? Second message is from Isaiah. Isaiah used to be around a lot, and then, he kind of dipped off, but now he's back, okay? It's a good time to give birth to new ideas and situations in your life. I am watching over you, guiding you, and protecting you during these changes, okay? So you are not alone. Isaiah is here to help you with birthing new ideas, okay? Of course, this person in the card, Isaiah, is a woman, and she appears to be pregnant, okay? So you could have, some of you may have children on the way, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. It could just be new ideas of what you want to pursue in your life purpose, okay? The last one is from Ariel, which states new psychic and spiritual experiences are changing the way you view the world and yourself. Allow your spiritual gifts to open up through study, prayer, and meditation. Okay? So, if you are embarking on a spiritual journey, as a lot of people are, I will say this as candidly as I possibly can. A spiritual life is not a phase. It's a lifestyle. Okay, so if you're going to embark on this journey, you have to take it seriously. Okay, and this is me, of course, getting serious with you. If you go on my Etsy shop, okay, I do have an Etsy shop where I do have a couple of things that might be helpful to you. I have an ancestral blessing spray that you can use for meditation and communicating with your ancestors. Okay, look into that first before you do it. All right, I have a description of how to use it and what it's supposed to be used for. If you go all the way down on my Etsy shop, I have an excerpt there in reference to higher vibrations through art and spiritual healing. Okay, and you will hear what I just said. You'll read that there. Okay, so you can kind of understand where I'm coming from when it comes to spirituality. Okay. I have many of other things on there besides Palo Santo. I have bracelets. I also have bath salts for spiritual baths. Okay, they're not just bath salts, they're spiritual baths. Okay, and each one is specific to something personal for each person. Okay, such as Ignite My Passion, which may be helpful to you. Okay, for some of you. As far as you trying to kind of lead your way to your life purpose. Others of you, you may want to try the Awakening by the Beach, which can help you have a spiritual awakening. Okay, and so and kind of open up to this truth that has been hindering you for the past couple of years. Okay. And so, with that being said, Leos, that's really all that I have for you guys today. Until later on, we have Tap Into Your Souls. Um, I'm not going to put a time on it. It just is later on today. Today is Saturday. I'm going to take a little bit of rest to kind of get prepared for that and get my energy up, so we can get those done today for the collective this week. So until then, Leos, peace.